Hello and welcome back to Leander98 channel. Today we're doing something very risky. We're using a camera again. The last time that happened, hair was out to here and well, I had to put a hat on the next time I used it. But we're more civilized now and we've cut our hair. So what are we doing today? So we are going to continue on with our car tutorials. However, obviously this is a different car. Today we are using an A80 Supra. And this, according to the thumbnail, I've already done. But we're just going to revisit this file so then I can show you how to do headlight and taillight lenses. Now, I forgot to do something prior, and that was load up Fusion 360 because, well, I kind of got to show you how to make the template. So I guess we'll do that first. Okay, so now we're going to show you how, there we go, how to make the template for this, because obviously we need a socket for our LED light to go in. So we are going to first start a sketch. I want to say it doesn't matter on the plane you pick, but apparently Fusion 360 and Blender use a completely different plane system. However, Blender is actually the correct one, because if you load anything up into the 3D printing slicer, Blender's correct all the time. So what we want to do is that we need to know the standard size for the LED lights used for RC cars. Now there's two different sizes. There's 3mm, which is what we're using today, and then there's also the 5mm. Either way, it works the exact same. What we want to do is we want to dimension our first hole at 3mm. It's going to be very small. So, and for the fact that we're 3D printing this, and we're going to need a decent wall thickness, just for the sole fact that obviously it has to build it in layers. So we could do 1mm, which you think would be kind of thick. However, if we're building this at a layer height of 0.15, which is okay layer thickness, you could go even smaller. However, it would be nice if the car was able to be done within less than 12 hours, so then I could start it in the morning and have it by the end of the night, or start it when I go to bed and it's done when I wake up. So the layer height's going to go side to side here, and if it's 0.15, let's see, there's going to be some dumb math here, but let's see, 0.15, 0.3, 0.45, 0.6, 0.75, 0.9, so we're looking at about 6-7 layers between here and here. Now that might sound all fine and dandy, however, this first layer is just going to be zit and done. And it won't be about till here that it's actually able to get a decent layer. So we're actually going to bump this to 1.2. So decently thick, so it makes sense. Now, because we're using Blender and we can always modify this right here does not matter. We are just going to do, okay, we might need more than that, but what we are going to do, we are going to do symmetric and whole length. I think we'll do 3mm. Yeah, 3mm is good. Okay, and then how it'll be in Blender is that we can change our length and our angle on this, our angle, in Blender, which is very easy because it'll make it into points here. When we'll select this half and then we can drag it out as long as we need it. So basically we can just use this one file here for every single car. Then what we want to do, tools, 3D print, select it, turn send to 3D print off, okay, and then go find your file. I already have this and it is going to be in my documents. And it's right here, LED socket template. So that is already right there, and I don't need to save it. However, for you guys, go ahead and save it. Put it in a place that you can easily find in Blender. Apparently documents is something that I easily find, so I put everything there. Alright, now that we're back in Blender here, we got our Supra. So what we're going to do is we are going to, well actually the first thing you want to do before you even touch anything is make it the size that you want. So we're going to do that. We're going to go back, grab our chassis template, and actually I think this body's huge. Because the blueprint was, it's one of those really nice ones that the Japanese like to make. They are very good blueprints as opposed to the garbage that you find on the blueprints.com, but honestly you can't really bash them too much. They at least give you blueprints. Thank you, Google, for cheating that system. There's a reason why copyright infringement was a possibility back then when they started doing that, and it looks like it's working in my favor. So what we're going to do is we're going to scale this down. Probably need this at like 72 millimeters. There we go, because the back is all going to be a lot thicker than that. So what we're going to do, we're going to downsize it. Try and keep these dimensions steady. We want to... And there we go. So there's our approximate body size. Make sure it fits our wheel wells. I guess what we can do is we can control A, so then we can make the scale back to 1. Because usually I like it when the scale's like 1.4, because I want to make it 1.2 millimeter when we solidify it, which we'll need here in a second, actually. Then it's actually a little thicker than that, so then the 3D printer takes it pretty well. Okay, so what we can do, we can hide solidify for now, and then we are going to delete our chassis. So what we want to do is we are going to come to import STL LED socket. Now we don't have to worry about our 3D pointer there because it's actually going to import it right here. So what we're going to do before we even touch it is we're going to rotate it so then we have the opening facing that. Okay, so now that we have that, we're actually going to add a modifier. We're going to do mirror. So this is, and do not drag it while you're not here, or else you lose the home position. So we're going to tab, so then we get all these points, and then drag it apart. There we go. I'm going to go to the front view now, and then we're going to align the holes so then they come up to the place. Now, for accuracy reasons, you could have the headlights properly set out how they're supposed to be. However, because this is an RC car, the wheels don't turn like a normal car. Because what happens is that a normal car has the ball joint to where it turns upon almost right at the end of the wheel. So it is able to turn without actually rotating much. However, because the RC car ball joint is like over here, when you turn, the wheel actually forces itself so far forward that we need to watch this location or else the tire's just going to rub into it. So in this car's case, we're actually going to move the headlights pretty far in, so then basically we're matching up this headlight right here. And there we go. So what we want to do, we want to position it in a way that we are not going to harm the headlight lens that comes across, yet we still need that hole. So we're actually going to drop it down like that. Okay, so no need to make it up all the way up front there because that's not realistic, because they got to sit in a bit so when the lens comes over. So now we need to make the bucket. So what we're going to do is we are going to select our surrounding edges. Now if you're really hardcore and you want to make this a separate piece, you can. However, we're just going to do this basic because we have this. So we're going to hit E for extrude, S for scale. So what we want to do, we want to make the basic rim of the housing. So we're going to position in a way that we can get the rim to be somewhat inside here. Like so. This is going to be our basic rim to where the lens will actually fit. Oh, indigestion. So, gonna come back in. And we are going to hit E and then scale one more time. Now we gotta watch out because we're about to eclipse our bottom of the hole there. Alright, so this is where we are going to make this kind of interesting. Because we're going to, let's safely select here, and then we're going to select around the rim up to about here. We're going to hit S for scale, and then in the Y direction. We're going to make it flat. Like that, and then we are going to pull this way back. Right here sounds about good. Actually, we could even pull back even further. Actually, we could even rotate it. Press R for rotate. And then right there's good. As long as we're not blocking the way of the tire turning, we're fine. Okay, now this obviously needs a little fixturing as well. So, scale in the Y direction. Obviously this right here is going to be a little messy. But nothing that we can't fix in Blender. Alright, so there we go. We might even move these up a little. There. Okay, so now we want to extend this. We can always go back and readjust that a bit, but we just want that. And now basically we just need to fill this in. So we are going to, and then this might get a little rockety, so hold on tight. So we're going to E for extrude, S to scale, we're going to bring it way down, and then we're going to shark it on over here. We'll scale in the Z direction, maybe even rotate this a bit. Nope. Kind of useless having the camera on for this, considering I'm going to have my head down because the camera is filming below the screen. Okay, so that's good there. We're going to bring this on over. Remember, we don't actually have to have anything connect as long as it passes through. We're fine. Okay, so that's good. And then we're just going to cheat a little, and then we're going to do triangles to merge it. And then over here, we got something. Oh, don't select that. Okay, now that's completely going through this circle. Bring these down, have that go through the circle. And then we're going to do triangles. Oh. Oh my god. Okay, so now, without being solidified, nothing passes through this hole, which is good. However, this is probably something I should have had as a disclaimer in the beginning of the video. You're going to need a drill and a drill bit, or at least some strong hands to hold a drill bit, because I'm going to go over to solidify, and we are still apparently good. Just my luck. But what happens here, let me turn that off for now, is that sometimes the extrusion filament, or the model here, is going to pass through the circle. And that's just because of the direction that this goes. Because when you solidify it, it basically just takes whatever the direction of it is, and then just spaces it back the certain amount that we got. And for here, it's 1.2 millimeters, which is fine. Now, as I can see here, we already have some of this going on here, which luckily it's not doing too bad. However, as we can see, our headlight is not actually going up to the complete edge. So we're going to... This is also something that you probably need a Dremel tool, but I'm sure if you've been 3D printing, you probably know that you need a Dremel tool for this stuff. There's no easy way around this, is there? No, there really isn't. So, now that we have that, at least our headlight lamp area is pretty well done. Okay. And then, like I said earlier, that we can rotate this. I'm going to select this part here, and we're going to rotate it downward. So then the lens can fit a little easier. Now, because the LED lens isn't actually... The LED is not going to be very long. It might cap out about here, considering it has like a little base plate. So it's not going to feel the struggle right around here where we just made it tiny. So that's all good. Alright, so now that we have our bucket area, we need to do the lens. Now the lens is going to be a little challenging, but we will figure it out just fine. So we're going to do a jump cut here, and then we're going to get started with it. Alright, so now it is time to do the lens. Now, precursor here, guys. This is probably something best to do if you have a resin printer. Now, yes, you can do clear PLA or ABS. However, you will not get the results that a resin printer can do. Plus, we have to make this piece very, very thin, like 0.7 millimeters, and you'd be lucky that if your printer is actually able to read 0.7 millimeter. So it's probably best for something to actually have a resin printer for this. However, that doesn't mean that you can't make the model for it. So, let's begin. We are not going to cheat. Well, I wouldn't say cheat because I kind of don't know how to do it either. Plus, it makes it very difficult if we do it from there. So we're actually going to do something from scratch. So we want to move our 3D locator, 3D cursor I should say, to the 0. And then we're going to hit create. So now we got ourselves a square. What you want to do is you want to tab, drag it over, tab, and mirror. So we got that. Now we're going to go back in and edit it, and we are going to drag it into place. Can I do this without moving the 3D cursor? Probably not. Okay. Now what you want to do, you want to get it into position. It's obviously going to be disappearing into many things here. Get it into location here. We are going to do it about here. We're going to jump this over. Now don't put it at the very base there. We need to set up our printing for that. There's a couple different ways to do it. We could either jog this on over here and then extrude up, or we could extrude up already and then jog it on over. We're going to do the first one. Apparently I got the Supra selected. There we go. Okay, so select that. Extrude. Rotate, extrude. Rotate. Now this will require a Dremel tool as well, for the sole fact that obviously there's going to be some, let's say some dimensioning error. It's just going to not be completely correct. So what we want to do, we're going to pick this up just a hair. Oh, that's what I was seeing wrong. Okay, obviously we are going to need to leave some tolerance gap because this stuff does shrink and expand. So extrude up, scale. Make sure you look at both your views. Oh my. Okay. This probably needs to be bumped up a bit. There we go. And then last one up. Okay. And now what we want to do, ooh, can't have that happening. Neither this. We want to have a decent gap between everything here. Enough that we can see through, and enough that we can allow some layerage to commence. Because what this has to do, it has to sit inside, or at least right on it, so then there's obviously going to be some gap. Last thing what we want to do, we're going to take this right here, and we're going to extrude straight down. So extrude Z and then scale Z. Okay, so we have a problem. That is going through that. Same here. Now what is the whole point of this? This is so then when it starts the printing, it has a flat base. Because if I were to come here, solidify 0.7, we need a flat base so then the print can start. Because remember, a resin printer prints upside down. So here's your resin, printer comes down, pretty much stamps it every layer. If it does not stick the first layer, you are basically then just curing resin onto your bath. That's not good. Chances are you will pierce and damage your resin bed. Okay, so now that we have this and we see that it does not, ooh, very close to though. Dealing with that, we should be fine. Last thing that we want to do is that we're going to actually scale it down just a hair. This is so then it's a little easier to put in, because I guarantee you, you will be dremeling these. Because look right here. This wall right here, that's not something we can really control without some super heavy modeling. Now we're also just going to clean it up. Subdivision. Make sure that the bottom base here is flat. bring that up. Bring this over here. Come on. Oh, we moved our 3D cursor. There, and if we really want to go up, there we go. Some very high resolution headlamps. Okay, so now we have that. Basically, you then do the exact same for the rear. But we're just going to focus on here for today. And then, obviously, because Blender extrudes the entire thing in an STL, we're going to want to file save as. Because I already have headlights in here, I'm going to make headlight 2. And then, once we do that, delete everything. Alright, that's all we had. Export. STL headlight 2. Export. Then, let's see. Exit. Exit. Gonna open up Cheeto Box, because that's what our resin printer has. Tell you what, my luck with the automated thumbnails, it's going to happen. Just pick that 1 millisecond that we were on the home page there. It's done it many times. Okay, so we save that to documents. Toyota 80 Supra, headlight 2. Rotate. Not 90, we want 80. And then create our supports. Slice. Okay, we got it on the first layer there. That's good. Using 1 cent of resin. But even though it's a very tiny part and resin printing goes based on how tall it is, it's still going to come up to about half an hour, which is okay. But yeah, very nice. All right. Hope this guy's helped you and allow you to customize the cars that you guys make. Come back. Oh, no, 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 no. There we go. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a kind of long one to make, but it's all right. It'll probably take forever to upload. See you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button. And if you're new, subscribe for more Blender car content. We make RC cars here, and hopefully once it starts warming up I can actually make videos of driving these bodies around, because there is a lot more science that I want to go through. I want to have a video talking about downforce as well and how it actually works with RC cars. So see you guys in the next one. Bye.